Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be addressing a few things regarding the entire situation in the community. And I'm recording this video before State of the Game. I'm going to release it probably a few hours before then. Hopefully, my computer doesn't break on me. But first of all, I want to clear up some misconceptions. I think I've seen some things. Some people think I was banned. I was not. My thumbnail said I was not banned. I just wrote I was not really small, and so I think a lot of people kind of saw banned and thought, oh, this guy got banned. I wasn't. I didn't do the glitch. In fact, if you watch my video titled Glitch, I complained about the glitch. Go back, if you may, please, and see that video for yourself. It's here on my channel. It will give you some insight as to what I thought as of the 23rd of March, which is over 8 days ago, as to how I felt about the glitch. I was not a fan of it. When it came out, I definitely, said this is not something that as a community we need to be celebrating. This is our game, and the fidelity of our game is very important. I have no issues against anybody, but my stance is that at that time, when this was going on, around the 17th of March, when it was much more popularized, which is where Massive is rolling back people's accounts to, that is the time that they should have taken more action so that they would have avoided banning members of their community like this. That is exactly where I stood and where I still stand. Now, you may disagree, and I've seen a lot of people disagree, saying, the bans were good. Some people saying the bans were bad. And I respect your opinion either way because it's a complex issue. Some people say, well, you did wrong. You need to get a ban. Honestly, that sounds great. But look at the people who walked into groups of other people who were doing the glitch and didn't do the glitch. Their collateral damage. You have to also account for that. If you say that, that's the thing about looking at this thing from all directions. If you say bans were necessary, how are you going to justify the people who were banned who did not know what was going on, or who walked into a group, saw this, left, and then got banned? How are you going to account for them? And I can understand that people feel differently about all of this, but if you say that the bans are good, then you have to also call out Massive for banning the wrong people. And this is where I'm going to call out Massive for their game being buggy. I've made 2 reviews for Warlords of New York. They are sitting here on my channel. 2 different reviews. Isn't it crazy? I made one and uploaded it on the 23rd of March. And I made another one. And I think I uploaded that one. Let me see. No, I didn't even go ahead and upload it because once I made it, then the bans showed up. So I haven't even made my review for Warlords of New York. All I've done is a first impression. And as somebody who's a content creator in this community to have not made a review, where even outsiders that, and I say outsiders, people who are, general content YouTubers who make a wide array of gaming content, they have made reviews of this game. But, as somebody within the community, I feel like I owe it to my, audience and to members of the community to actually do a review down the road. But now I'm just going to have to wait to see how all of this comes in so that we can factor it into our review, because this is, something that's developing, and the ultimate responsibility falls on Massive Studios because they need to fix their game. You see, I'm a fan of The Division, and I do like Massive, but at the same time, you cannot be a blind follower of everything, and I can't put myself in that position where I'm just blindly following everything and smiling all the way to the, to wherever the heck it is. I have to be real and say they're Massive. There are people that have been affected by people who paid you money, and now you have not treated them right. And we have to speak about that, because if this game was stress tested and if they had actually taken a different set of measures, this would not have been a problem. The community would have said, well, what I'm saying is there's a better way to have handled this. So I'm hearing about this example in Destiny where people said, oh, we broke this weapon because, it was bugged and all that. And what did Bungie do? They fell on their sword, right? And they said, you know what, let's just sell this same weapon to everybody who already has it. And they laughed about it. They fixed the patch and everybody moved on. At that time, regarding this particular bug in Destiny, they did not castigate their own audience. They went ahead and took responsibility for it. And this is exactly where the community, needs to have seen Massive actually show some level of ownership in their own video game. That's the thing about Massive Studios, and I have to call it out. They are very good at distancing themselves away from their problems. It's a weird tact that they use, and I don't know, how they think they're going to continue getting away from it. You can't do that. You can't ban players who are, innocent about what's going on. If I see my account banned, they're going to get gigs and gigs of videos of my gameplay. I mean, like I said, if you look at my character, I was on stream yesterday. I only have the white tusk hat and the white tusk pants, because once the glitch started, I was like, there's no way I can play a legitimate legendary mission and make a tutorial about it, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make tutorials on District Union, tutorials on Roosevelt Island, and tutorials on Capital Legendary. But I only made two out of the three, and I haven't made the third one right now because, yes, that kind of affected everybody. And I said, this is really strange, because at that time I didn't mention it, but I looked and said, if I go matchmaking a group right now, I can almost guarantee that I'm probably going to meet people spamming. So I kind of just sidestepped and left it and said, you know what, it's not the end of the world. There's more content to make. The community has other things that we can talk about. And, I made some build videos. I made some opinion pieces, but that's largely where I am. I think the way this should have been handled, and it should have been done in a better way, was they should have done a better job communicating their warning. Some people have even said that the situation is much more complex than we know on the general side. Some people said they gave a warning on Twitter for the shooting range glitch, that was unintentional, or the shooting range exploit. And, some people said, okay, whatever, and they got that warning. But I don't think they did a good job, actually doing some good warning when this thing started getting popularized. I think that they should have continued to send out emails to the people who are promoting this stuff, because these are the nexus of all of this, and said, hey, we're noticing some funny activity on your account, and we just wanted to, notify you that if this continues, we're going to be looking further into it. If they had actually said something along the lines of that would have definitely worked, I think. And if it didn't work at that point, a ban is by all means 100% valid. But now to roll out these so-called restrictions on people's accounts who are claiming that they have not used this glitch is where we have a problem. Honestly, I'm not making this video to defend anyone who used the glitch and got banned. That's not my stance. If you use the glitch and you got banned, well, you signed the terms of service. You said, I agree. That's exactly where the terms of service stand. But what my video is about is that Massive bears the responsibility for banning members of their player base who have not engaged in this. And this is where we need, as a community, to say, Massive, you need to turn around and you need to fix your game, and you need to do more investigation and make this right. Because if you've taken a wave of bans and thrown on all kinds of groups or whatever, then, this is something that you need to look and make right. Because you're going to chase off willing players, people who are solo players, who are saying this. Now, I'm not naive to say that there are probably people who use the glitch and are saying they didn't use the glitch. I'm not, naive to that. That's also a big possibility. Massive may have, done some investigation, run some numbers, and may have seen some irregularities on their particular agent's account, and they may have received a ban, but they're saying that they got a ban nonetheless. I'm not saying that everyone who says they're innocent about this is innocent. I'm just saying that there are genuinely people who are innocent about it. And that's exactly where we need, where we see things going. Somebody said on my video, hey, stop complaining, man. If you got a ban, take your ban. Next time you'll learn your lesson. More viewers for me on my platform. I'm like, dude, I didn't get banned. What are you talking about? I think the more interesting thing about this patch that a lot of people have probably not, considered is how many other people were enjoying the title of the 8 in the way that it was released. I, for one, enjoyed it. I liked patch 1.3 in the division because it felt slightly challenging enough to be able to make you work much more intently. And I remember those days I used to go, and play Falcon Loss to try to get strikers and get sentry and make my build good. And all I had, I'll probably sometimes have like 4-piece Hunter's Faith. And that's the thing about, Hunter's Faith. People just thought Hunter's Faith was a crappy gear set. But ideally, it wasn't. It was actually a very good gear set. You just had to learn how to play with it. And this is before the classified version. This was the patch 1.3 Hunter's Faith. And I still have footage of myself actually using that build. It's crazy that I still have that footage. And I would hustle and get into these incursions and do well and try to get, this striker. And you guys remember Falcon Loss was so brutal. I think you only had checkpoints at wave 4 and wave 8 or so. And this is one of those things where, you just didn't want to fail because it could literally change the entire game for you. It could literally spoil your mood for the whole day because of how much you've tried. And bringing patch, title of the 8 for me, I thought that was an amazing addition to the game with its difficulty level, with how the game made you much more cautious, how you knew there was much at stake with the legendary missions. I enjoyed it. So that was my stance from the ongoing, from the onset, and I made my reviews. But because of the way things are, the entirety of the community has started to see, these changes, and people are, a little stunned by everything. I've seen, people say, well, you sound like, you don't really care about anybody. You sound like, it doesn't bother you. You sound like it's not a big deal for you or whatever. But to be very fair and to be very honest, I think everybody bears the responsibility for themselves in this entire matter. And many people have already borne their responsibility. But I hope that Massive will take responsibility for themselves. And I hope they're going to take responsibility for their actions. Because if they do, they're going to make themselves look better on the long run. If they say, hey, this was our fault. We did not intend for this to happen. There are ways that they can say this. They can spin this very well for their own, benefit. Because, if you look at everything, they still reserve the right to treat, their game as their game to an extent. But then when you have individuals in your community that are going to leave your game because they did nothing wrong, they used the matchmaking system that you provided and made available, then now we're in a very gray area. And I'm hoping that Massive will do the right thing. And I'm hoping that they'll fix their game. They have res bugs in the game. It's still there. One of them on my stream last night, I was playing Kinley College with a friend, and we could not res him. We could not. That's one of those things where it's like, if you think about that, you have to look and say, what's going on here? Why am I not able to res and use a mechanic in the game? So I hope that they'll change their outlook on this matter. I hope that they'll make some amends, and I'm hoping to see some changes in the near future. But I don't know, man. I think we're still going to end up having a buggy game because for some strange reason they do not know how to fix their own game, and that's where we stand right now. So let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. A lot of this is really tiring. Somebody told me yesterday and said, dude, you sound tired. You sound discouraged. I am a little discouraged because of their actions. They have definitely done things in a strange way that has not been, ultimately wise, in my own opinion anyways. So I guess that's pretty much what I wanted to say. And hopefully I've been able to convey my entire thoughts on this matter because I don't want to beat a dead horse, in this regard. So thank you very much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.